Welcome back, Arcadians, and in this week's episode we're going to be looking at Sega's F1 exhaust note from 1991. This is a new addition to the arcade archive, but is a very unusual cabinet because as far as I'm aware, Sega only made a sit-down twin version of this game, but here we are. Standing right next to an upright. So we're going to do a bit of investigating to find out whether this cabinet has been converted from another game from that era. And then we're going to put the pedal to the metal and test out how good my driving skills are. Oh dear, he's dropped right down into fifth. Oh God, he's taken me out. That's not on. Welcome back, Arcadians, and in this week's episode we've got something really exciting, a new arrival at the Arcade Archive. It is Sega's F1 exhaust note, an extremely heavy and awkward cabinet to move around. As you can see here, me struggling to get it through the entrance room. And this is the life of a YouTuber. We have to film everything, but I had forgotten that I had the camera clipped to the side of the cabinet, and I don't know why. I'm trying to get it through this doorway and it's just not going to fit. I don't know how many times I try. I have to move the camera. So it just goes to show you what you've got to look forward to in this video. My driving skills with a sack truck are not good. They really aren't. Now this arcade machine was working when I picked it up, but because I have to lay them flat when transporting these arcade machines, occasionally I do find things that have come loose. So I just want to check the PCB is still connected, there's no loose wires. Well, we've got a volume pot here, but that's not a problem. I can just cable tie that. Just make sure the monitor chassis is okay, everything how it should be, and then we are ready to turn it on. This is the exciting bit, seeing it working in the arcade archive. We finally got it into position after my really bad driving skills with a sack truck. I managed to bash my camera about, but we're all good. The camera's working and the game's working, which is a nice surprise. And I've got to thank Paul Higgins for loaning this game to the museum. Thank you, Paul. Something a little bit different. I know people love driving games, especially from this era, which is the Nigel Mansell era of the early 90s. So this is a game, if I'd seen this in the arcade back in the day, I would have absolutely been drawn to, because I loved watching Formula 1 in the Nigel Mansell era. But it is confusing me, this cabinet, because Sega made a sit-down twin. It was their first sit-down twin, and as far as I'm aware, they never made an upright. So I think that this game has been converted from another game, but I'm not sure what. F1 exhaust note is a dual racing cabinet setup, and it was released in the arcades in 1991 on Sega's System 32 arcade hardware. Now, what's interesting about the cabinet we have here at the museum, and what's making me think this is a conversion, are a few signs really. There are some stickers here on the side of the cabinet which are licensed stickers. Now, F1 exhaust note did not get a license for any of the drivers or any of the tracks. It wasn't until its sequel in 1992 with F1 Superlap that it featured all the cars from the 1992 Formula 1 World Championship. But there is something on the front of this cabinet that sticks out like a sore thumb, and which is instantly recognisable. It is this sticker here, which is a Rad Mobile sticker. Now, this is a game I used to play back in the day and I absolutely loved it, and it runs on exactly the same 32-bit hardware. So it makes me think this is an imposter really. This is a converted cabinet, and there are other telltale signs as well. So as you can see from this original Rad Mobile cabinet, the game has 3 buttons: blue for wipers, green for lights, and the white button to start the game. And it's no coincidence that if you look at the layout of the buttons here and the gear shift on exhaust note, they're in exactly the same place, except you have a turbo sticker covering one of the buttons up, and someone's just converted the start button to a gear shift. Now ignore the BMW sticker, that is definitely going, but we need more evidence, and we can't tell just by looking at what we've seen so far. So I need to get back inside the cabinet and have a look behind the control panel to see if there's any telltale signs that it's been converted. And straight away I spot a hole covered with some blue plastic, and if I poke it I could quite easily put my finger through it. So at some point it was definitely housing another button, either for the lights or the wipers for Rad Mobile. Now, more investigating in the back of the cabinet, I found this piece of paper with serial numbers on, which actually matches the serial plate on the back of the cabinet, which is really cool. But I'm still not 100% sure that this is converted cabinet. There's still a couple more things we need to check. First of all, the PCB inside this cage. Is it original? Well, it's got a label on it. I'm slowing the film down just so you can see. What is it? What is this game? It is Rad Mobile. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. It's got an original Rad Mobile PCB in it. So basically they've done a ROM swap. Okay, so we're pretty convinced now what this used to be, but there is one more thing we need to look at inside the cabinet, which I always like to check. I'll just check the inside, just in case I've missed something. We've just got the service switches there. Got another serial number there. Nothing telling us it's a Rad Mobile. Coin box. Nothing in there. Ooh, coin meter. 146,000 plays. Wow. This has been a very popular game. Or two games. It's been two games over that period of time. With all my investigations of the cabinet complete, there's one more thing I want to try. Do you remember that haul of PCBs I picked up a couple of months ago? Well, so this is the Arcade Archive Vault, guys. This is where I store all of the games. So when you come down and visit and you ask me for a particular game, hopefully we've got it. We won't have everybody's game because there were thousands made, but we've got a good selection of PCBs in here. And I could just go in here, pull the game out, put it in a jammer cab, and you can play it. This is the fun thing about having a library of games. And it just so happens I have a Rad Mobile PCB, which I picked up in that haul. Do you remember a couple of months ago I did a video where I found 50 PCBs? Well, this was one of the games which was amongst all of those. And I will return to that video at some point, guys, because there's so many cool games I want to cover. But for now, we're going to have a look at this game. Rad Mobile, got a lot of history. First game to have Sonic the Hedgehog in. I'm just hoping it's going to work in that machine because it's been converted, the controls have been messed around. But let's find out. Let's go and try it out and see how it plays. Well, fantastic. We have a working Rad Mobile PCB, but unfortunately no sound, and that could just be me. It might just, the volume pop might just need turning up. But for the sake of this video, I don't want to get into too much detail about this game because we are focusing on exhaust note. But interestingly, the game Rad Mobile was the first game to be developed on the 32-bit hardware, and it was released in the arcades in 1990 and internationally in 1991. So a very early game developed on that hardware. It was also the first game that Sonic the Hedgehog appeared in as an ornament, dangling from the windscreen. I also like the fact that the game has branching paths, so you can skip stages. So a little bit like Outrun, it's got plenty of replay value, and I love the fact that the game has weather and time of day changes, sometimes requiring you to turn on the windshield wipers if it's raining, or going through the night stages, turning your headlights on. It gives you a real sense of being in the environment. I absolutely love this game. I just wish I could play this on a dedicated cabinet. Pretty convinced that this cabinet was previously a Rad Mobile game. Just from all those telltale signs from the Rad Mobile sticker on the front here, the license stickers that they've stuck on the side here, which this game never had, the button that's definitely been covered up, and they've added this gear shift, but also the coin counter. Over 140,000 plays, so it makes me think that this game has had 2 lives and it's been 2 games. Great for the cabinet, it's had so much use, and as you can tell, someone's done a great job in converting this to exhaust note, and it is a fantastic game, and we are going to play this now because it is super cool. But not before I've let Neil have his go, because between the two of us we are extremely competitive. But the funny thing is, in the Arcade Archive, I play nothing but Super Hang-On and he plays nothing but Outrun. So we never really get any competitive gameplay going on, and really we should be playing the same game. So hopefully this is the one. Let's see how we get on. He's a very technical driver, is Neil. He reminds me of that former world champion Jenson Button, who got very lucky one year getting in with the Brawn team racing for Honda. Do you remember?
Need to use the brake there, I think, on the chicane.
I just cut the whole corner off.
Oh, I'm down to 7.
Well, I think that's good advice, don't you? I mean, that's what Michael Schumacher would have done back in the day. Cut the whole chicane off. Third place.
Right, come off for the chicane, we've done it.
Yeah. Oh, I don't like this, he's too good. Got to be a storm coming. Power cut. That's the best position I've ever got in the game, is 3rd, so you've got to beat that. Third position.
Second go at the game.
Yeah.
And it feels like there's room to improve, definitely. It feels like there's a racing line to find. There's the sweet spot on each corner where you need to lift off just to get your speed right. It feels like a game that you can
Get into,
that you can really improve at. I like
It's a
it.
shame there's not other tracks on it though.
True, but it will also focus you on just learning that track inside out.
That was only his 2nd go. I might have to change the dip settings. No one's going to know. Oh yeah, getting off to a good start here, guys. Got 3 out the way, they're up into 4th place already. I don't know why I've got my hand on the gear. We are automatic, so we're up into 5th gear already. And we're into 3rd, and he's taken me out. That is just not happening. We can still do it. Love the spark effects from the cars in the distance there, giving you a real sense of speed. Very exhilarating. I'm just going to take the chicane, cut it off, because I know that's what Michael Schumacher used to do back in the day. Can you get back up into full position? He's struggling. I don't know whether you can slipstream these cars, but we managed to get up into 4th place, and he's veering. Oh, just run some bloke over there. Oh dear. Come on, yes. Oh, and he's taking that chicane again. But can he hold it together? No. He's dropped back down into 6th position. 4th. Come on, let's give it 3rd. Yes, I've got third. Now, can he hold it? We're on the second lap. Just tapping that throttle. Right, can he get past? Can he get any further than third position? Always run that. He's got that bloke's getting in the way again. I like the way you can use some mirrors. You can see who's coming up behind you. You can maybe block them off. This would have been a fantastic game when you had sit-down twin racing against your best mate. This is really exciting. He's going to take that chicane again. Oh yes, that was lovely done. Right, here we go. Position 32. Come on. That corner's quite hard. Oh, I'm back into fourth. Can't believe it. Last lap. Where's that chicane? Got someone on my tail. There's the chicane coming up. Just going to cut across. Or cut a little bit too much off. Oh dear, he's dropped right down into fifth. Oh God, he's taken me out. That's not on. Yeah, you go into the trees there, mate, because you're... Oh, mate, that's just incredible. Eighth position, that is a poor attempt. Yeah, I am not happy with that at all. But we still have a whole season to complete, Neil, so plenty of opportunities for me to get on the podium yet. Well, there you go, Arcadians. What do you think? Did you have any memories playing this back in the day? I would love to know whether you actually played the sit-down twin version, because I think that's where the fun really is. Sitting down with your best mate, you know, and racing against him, not just for the best time, but the best position, and seeing him appearing in the rear view mirror and taking him out on that chicane. I think there would have been a lot of fun playing a sit-down version of this. Saying that, I'm still getting a lot of fun playing this upright converted cabinet. Just going for those scores, those times, but I think where the longevity is with this game is maybe playing it manually, going through the gears and getting really technical around those corners. But fantastic game. Back in the day, I probably would have put 70p's worth of my pound, my hard-earned pocket money into this game and then moved on to something else. Well, that's it for this week, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.